Hi everyone, this is a video about me going through the storyboards for the next animation. Just wanted to explain a couple of things. This is the first run of storyboards which you would have seen in a previous post, but I thought it might be nice to take a deeper dive into it. So this is for the animation prompt Swift, and I decided to mix this one in with some music. I chose Fighter by Jack Stauber. I hope that's how you say it. And this was the first round of storyboards. So the intro, I was originally going to have a earlier version of the music, like a little bit before, and put in my name and Jack Stauber with the title of the song Fighter. And then as it ticks through, if you haven't heard it before, it's very quirky. It gives a little bit of nostalgia for me for the sort of VHS music videos that he made to go with them. So as it ticks through in the first section of the song, I was going to have different elements like these that were significant to the character. They were actually a part of a larger story that I ended up cutting. So now we're going to go with an establishing shot, because once I'd done this first round of storyboards and put it into an animatic, I realized that we had no context for where the character was, and they would actually just start out with these legs going up a set of stairs and you just see the sky behind, so there's no context to where the animation actually started and where the character was. And that was actually kind of important to make a little bit more sense with the rest of the story. So instead of these, we have a new establishing shot here, which I'll put on the screen, and then we have these steps up. The background for this has been finished. I've done this a couple of times now, just adjusting the colors and things, but this is what it's gonna look like. And then I've stuck with sort of like this turnaround. There is gonna be a couple of clouds and a more gradient background for this shot, because I think it's just going to be easier to have it turn, like slide across and make it look as though the character's turning. This one, background also finished. So we go from close up of the legs walking to a little bit more detail about the character, and then we have a wide shot and we see that they have wings and they are at the edge of this cliff, and obviously you can't see anything else. So when they drop down, it's a bit of a surprise. Originally this animation started because I wanted to do something with wings, and I've seen a couple of really beautiful falling animations by, can't remember the artist's name, but if I do remember I will put it up on the screen. And then I just wanted like some effects. Maybe I'm thinking of adding some smoke or sort of like dust that swirls around and comes towards the camera when they lift their wings. And like there is going to be another section for this, so they are going to be crouched a little bit and then they're going to look up, and then it's going to transition to this extreme close-up, which when I uploaded the animatic to YouTube, this is the thumbnail that YouTube picked, and it is very, very tempting to have it like that, but I will think. And then once we have this extreme close-up of the eyes, it's going to be very anime, very detailed. This is actually the shot I'm looking forward to most in the whole animation. And then there will be like some feathers and things coming down, because they are, originally I was going to have the character's hair be completely made up of feathers, but I wasn't ready for that yet. That level of complexity, I could just see this project spiraling out of control with the timeline that I had set myself. So I was like, actually I'll design them differently. So they just have a few feathers sort of like mixed in with the hair. It's not entirely feathers. They look shocked, and then we are now on the ground and we can see what they're saying. So we have our little character in the front here for perspective purposes, and then this large lump behind some ruined buildings, and these two here are going to be separate, because as the character comes up and turns around and moves through, the buildings are actually going to shift to the side, and there's going to be some effects here again, like some dust and debris as they lunge forwards. There's going to be a cut, so we now have a side-on kind of view. We're looking at the character who moves forwards, and as I'm just going to call it the monster, because it is kind of like a harpy design, a much larger version of protagonist. And so this character comes forward, and then ours goes up to dodge them snapping the jaws and like trying to eat them. So they're in the sky, and then they get shot at with barbs or small feathers that end up looking kind of black and sickly, and as they dodge them, we then cut to the monster still on the ground, and then they come up towards the camera, and then we have another wide / extreme wide shot. Our monster is shooting up and our smaller character is dodging, and then as they turn and go to bite them, our character then shoots towards the mouth. They seem to go in, we're like, oh no, they're dead, and then our character is super strong and busts out through the back of this thing's head. Very gory as it goes down, and then we have our final shot at the end where the monster sinks to the floor and our character is like triumphant in the sky flapping the wings. So it was just something super short that I wanted to work on, not anything too detailed. It's already like a lot more detailed than I expected to make it. I'll put some links down in the description of other animations to this sound that I was inspired by, and I hope you enjoyed this little extra video. If you have any questions, let me know and I will do my best to answer in the comments.